Chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benny. Sills.
I feel terrible, but the Yellows won, and we played brilliant football in the second half, so I'm okay. Right, Tom, Chris, birthday boy Clive joined us. He's saying, look,
Oh, happy birthday,
Hey,
Clive. He's having a
oh,
Chinese bunny as well. Lovely, that.
very nice, very nice.
We haven't finished recording this, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, right, Clive, birthday boy, you take us away for Bath at home.
Oh, thanks. Not quite a game of two halves, but my goodness, what a difference a sub makes. So Bath came with a very clear game plan, didn't they? They came to get a point. They set up very solidly. Swanee's gone for a walk. I'll keep talking.
Keep talking.
Their left back, Mr. Greenslade, does have several attributes of a bus, I think. He should have been booked at least during the 90 minutes. Cut a long story short, finally, decision was made to put two strikers on. We'd huffed and puffed and not done very well for, I don't know, 55 minutes or an hour. But the introduction of Cody Cook, I thought, made all the difference. It meant the ball stuck up front more. It meant we got knockdowns. We just looked way more dangerous, and we were able to play more in their half, weren't we? Obviously, a little bit of luck with a goal. Keeper makes a bit of a mess of a Jordan Young shot, and Cookie's there, lethal from a yard. So a big 3 points. Obviously, most of the teams at the top of the league did win on Saturday. Dorking recovered from their awful match against us. I'm sure Mark White will be delighted to get back on the horse with 3 points at Boreham Wood. But the main result of the afternoon that sort of kept everybody interested is Worthing getting beat at Welling. So it's just possible that title race might still be alive.
I agree. In the second half, absolutely brilliant from Paul Watson, because I think at times it's, we try and overcomplicate things, not overcomplicate things, but football in general has this really annoying view, modern day football, that, oh, if you don't go in long, then it's no. No, I love long ball when it's effective, and we did it brilliantly. Two reasons why. One, Bath packed out the midfield, so in the first half they were just dominating any kind of passing play that we were doing. We couldn't get past the midfield really. And secondly, we did it right. We weren't just lumping it for the sake of it. We were putting it in very good positions. Cody Cook was winning a lot. Sinzala was also pulling their centre back out so much that they had to bring another centre back on, which made them more defensive, which meant when we did go 1-0 up there, less threat. But we were just, I love football. I was just on the edge of my seat because this meant we were instantly getting the ball into Jordan Young. Like, honestly, and all our attacking players were getting onto the ball. So we skip and trying to get it through the midfield. And I hope we do that a bit more, actually. Going forward when we need to, because I absolutely loved it. That I'm not even just having a wind up because I like getting it in the mixer, but like I absolutely loved that 15 minutes when we just went back to that football. It was exciting. Bath didn't really know how to deal with it. We scored a lot of goals from set pieces and that. So, and a goal came from that because they all of a sudden were able to think, and they didn't do it very well. It's a good keeper, Bath keeper, but he made an absolute mess, and we went 1-0 up. And yeah, Kelly, anything else to add?
well, it was a pretty crap game of football, wasn't it? Not a classic that over 5,200 are going to remember, but fantastic from the fans there. Over 5,000 for non-league day. What was Devon Day last year? I think it's brilliant. And to have quite a vocal, large backing of away fans, I suppose. What was it? Over 250 from Bath, so made for a good atmosphere. Although in the pop side, it was a little bit quiet in the first half, but then again, it wasn't really a game where there was a lot of I don't want to say talent, but it just didn't seem to flow very well. We had the odd chance, but they were very few and far between. Thought the referee personally was letting a lot go from the off.
Yeah, especially then.
Bath's game plan seemed to be to frustrate, niggly fouls, play for a point, which I found quite well, it's a bit weird because they actually played a bit of football and tried to go for it. They might have got a point out of it, or even they might have got three with the way we were playing in the first half. But credit to Paul Watton, because I know in a few games we've played, he's been adjudged to have made too many subs for the sake of making substitutions, but he got it spot on, I thought, on Saturday. And the introduction, like we said, of Cook changed the game. I'm surprised that it wasn't a straight swap, because I think Ozzy, it's clear he's not 100%. So to see
Pulling
him
out the
playing
two up
90
front,
minutes,
though.
I think that's credit to him for pushing on. Because I spoke to him briefly afterwards, he was taking pictures for a lot of the younger fans, and he was saying he was getting beaten up, and he knows, and he knows the task. He's put a lot of effort in the last month or so, and he's a great asset for the club. But having Cody there immediately improved us, and the goal, like we said, Jordan Young, who I think should have got man of the match personally. I think Dre was all right, but all the chances that were going to be created were coming through Jordan Young once again. And Cook's there. I think the funniest thing for me was the keeper trying to claim handball after he's taken Cook down in the box.
Yeah, it would have been a penalty, mate.
It would have been a penalty,
happened,
mate. So
Yeah.
but you know what? He got the ball over the line, and again, we've said it in recent episodes. I didn't feel like we were going to concede at any point. Hammonds once again has had a rather quiet game. I don't actually think he's had a proper save to
Got a
make.
couple crosses earlier, first half.
Yeah,
Ain't done
but
well.
nothing like, wow, that was an important save. That
Exactly.
saved us a couple of points. So it's not going to be pretty going into the end of the season. I think our style is going to be grinding out results and trying to wear teams down. But at this stage of the season, for me, it's all about points. Points trumps performances. We get 3 points come 5 o'clock on Saturdays for the rest of the season, then we're going to be up there and challenging. And obviously Worthing are playing tonight as we record. Tricky game against Hornchurch. I think even if it's a draw there, it would be a good result and opens it all up again. So it's this division. This division is just the one consistent thing about the decision is it's so inconsistent. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll know where we stand come 10 o'clock tonight. And it's back on again, isn't it? All of a sudden, if Hornchurch can get a result tonight. So,
Chris, cheers, Tom. Do you feel like two up front? I'm delighted with it. You could probably tell. Absolutely delighted. But do you reckon we could be moving more towards that with a loan signing tonight, bringing back Manny Olasami from Derby until the end of the season, which I think, just from a very, very brief bit of him I saw, is a great piece of business for the running. Could that mean we could be going, well, it gives us 3 striker options, technically 4 if you put Matt J there, so it means we're well stacked in that position. Could you say that maybe, we might be going to a more 2 up front role where we can just pull centre backs apart and give us more options?
As I'm sure you'll recall, to give me the credit, I was the one at half time that said we need to go 2 up front in this game.
Yeah.
It felt like the moment where you had to do it, because it was a sort of game where we had to have a fight with them because they were big and strong, and we were getting, it was tough up there. On your own, it's tough up there in that kind of game because they had a very clear game plan, didn't they? But it was, and I think what made the right choice, actually, Cody made a big difference. I don't know if it signifies we'll go to 2 up front regularly, but I think what it does signify is we've got options, and there's 6 games, potentially 7, 8, 9 games to go. So there'll be moments where, like Saturday, where you sense that we need to go 2 up front, or you need to get another forward on because you need a goal, or you want to change the shape. And I think, again, I agree. What I saw of him, he looks like a lively up from what was very impressed with him, both in training and in matches around the club when he was here before. So I think so. But yeah, I think Saturday was very much the sort of game where, I know some people who were very down, another rubbish game, or terrible football and all this. And
I don't understand.
well, I mean, I
loved it.
I do. I mean, I get it.
First
It's
half
not
was a bit boring, but
I get it in that it's not free flowing football. It's not lots of goals. It's not whatever. But I mean, ultimately, it's about winning, isn't it? As we've said, and we managed that. It's about finding what's been impressive at times this season is we found a way, which some games we haven't, but a lot of the games at home, actually, in terms of how many, we've had this quite, how many times have we blown people away at home? Once. And I think actually we, and we've, it's everyone's cup final, etc., and all of that. But the beauty is a bit like, games like the game against Truro, the game against Hornchurch at home, games where you just got to find a way. And you got a goal. And I agree. You're always, when it's 1-0, there's always a chance, isn't there? But you would want us to be creating more chances. I think there's no doubt about that. At home, we've not created lots of chances really since the Hampton game, ironically, which we lost. But I think it's a positive. And you look at the 6 games remaining now, don't you? And you look at it and think, well, I wrote before the last game, we need to be winning the last 4 home games. Well, that's 1 ticked off. And obviously Saturday's a winnable game with 2 home games to come. Win that Saturday, get 2 results that are positive at home. Where are you with 3 games to go? That's going to be the kind of the next challenge. The next 3-game block, I think, will determine almost what happens in the next 3. 9 points in the next 3 will make the last 3. It could all be on by that point because, as we know, yes, Worthing have got a tough game tonight, but they've also got Hornchurch, Eastbourne, Dorking 3 after that. So they're going to need that buffer after tonight, potentially. So yeah, that defeat for Worthing really does kind of give you half an eye on the top spot again, doesn't it?
I agree. I agree. Yeah, all of a sudden defeat at the weekend is over. So it's very much so. But I remember Paul said a few times he preferred to be going into the last few games of the season a few points behind, and it's true. That sort of starting to hit good form. We're very solid, and I know we haven't really considered any chances and haven't even had to make any saves, but that shows how good the unit is between the defence and the keeper and how much trust there is at times. Like they all know what ball to come for, what ball not to come for. And that's a very underrated part of football. And that's something that's evidently been worked on and something why we've conceded not many goals at all season, but especially not even any chances at the moment. And that is excellent. I also liked how when we did go 1-0 up, I didn't feel we sat back at the weekends. Bath had that
No,
one
I
great
mean,
chance at the end though, didn't they? Should have done a lot better, but
and you
they
can
didn't.
hear Watton, can't you, from the Bristow's
Yeah,
bench side? You can hear him up every verse end.
yeah.
Is he trying to get them up and trying to make sure they don't sit in? But again, I thought we defended the box very well. With a lot of games where we've defended the box well. I don't know. I'm a massive fan of playing 4 centre backs as the 4 defenders.
I love
In
it.
some situations, at home, Crass was good again, but actually, if you're going to, are there going to be scenarios where we need perhaps a more attacking fullback on who's going to get forward and get better delivery, a couple of chances to get good balls in the box, and he doesn't necessarily. So will there be games where Thomas might need to come on to provide a bit more quality for that? But again, defensively, we were strong, which is a fundamental job of a defender, isn't it? But yeah, I agree with what you said at the beginning as well. I thought getting Young into the game, Young was outstanding in the second half because everything came through him, and ultimately the goal did.
Well, other player I thought was good in the second half. It's defensively. I mean, yeah, I agree actually, Chris, on that point. I prefer just to have 4 very, very solid defenders and then the attacking players there could go and win me the game. I thought as the game got a bit of bite into it in that 15 minutes, I thought Threlkel put some brilliant tackles in. I
Yeah,
thought he
it was good.
actually showed some. Clive,
Yeah.
any other players that sort of stood out to you?
Just a word on Jay Fulston, really. It is a bit of a quandary, isn't it? Because he doesn't offer huge amounts going forward. But really, I think probably keep the back door shut at this point of the season. He missed a good chance in the first half, didn't he? A sort of training ground
Yes.
corner. That
Yeah.
sort of cutback where Teddy
Yeah,
Sheringham
yeah,
used to bury him, but he ain't no Teddy, is he? So unfortunately, he didn't get much of a contact on it. But
yeah.
no, pretty decent all round. I think we've covered most of them, haven't we? I thought Hayfield did his normal thing, didn't he? Up and down, good engine sort of thing. But yeah, really, really good substitution. Quite bold taking off, midfielders Jenkins Davis to bring Cookie on, but it absolutely worked. Fantastic.
Yeah, I know I got a bit of criticism for saying last week in that I thought Threlker was very good at Dorking because I thought he was, but actually it's become cool to criticise him for some reason. But I thought he was very good
Yeah.
again last week.
Oh, he
Broke the
is
play up
excellent.
well. Broke the play up well. Seeing that in that last half an hour, as you said, Swanee broke the play up well. Did the simple things well. Bit of leadership in there. So again, very good for me. Hopefully, he's going to that bit of leadership and experience is going to be useful and
I
very
think he
handy this
grew.
time of the season.
Yeah, I thought Oscar grew into it. I didn't think he had a particularly good first half. Got dispossessed a few times, lost the ball a few times, but second half he seemed to manage to sort that out. And we just grew again. We just grew into it a bit. And the longer these games go, from a Bath perspective, the more they're more likely to hold on and hold on. So it's just great that we were able to break teams down because that's what we're going to have to do for the rest of the season. Again, we keep saying it. You look at the fixtures. Are they favourable for us? Yes, absolutely. But we're going to come up against teams who've haven't got anything to play for, most of them, but B, are going to make it difficult for us sit back, and it's up to us to break it down. And we've done that very well in the last couple of weeks. Tunbridge and Dorking quite similar games in that respect. Didn't have many chances, but we managed to get the 3 points, and that's just what we've got to do. Again, points trump performances at this stage. If we can keep winning, if we
Any
win
stage.
5 of the next 6, say, if we get 5 wins and 1 draw, then I think we're going to be up there. We're going to be up there. Whether it's enough for top spot, I don't know. But again, it's going to be a very interesting last 6.
Can I tackle a cliche I've despised this season? Oh, it's all about performances at this stage. It's about points. Well, it is the whole season about points. And it's not about performances, it's about how you sort of create and get that sort of thing in the final third. And even though we weren't very good in the first half at all, we found a solution and I thought we played very well in the second half. So that's the thing about all season. At the start of the season, it was, oh, we're a new team. It's not about forward. It's just about getting results. And that's 3-1 wins that we've done well now. And do you feel a little bit, right? I've got off on that bit, sorry. Do you feel a little bit that in the season where we had the dreaded Ashengate ending, remember how we sort of changed style midway through the season because we had a few injuries and all that, and we went for a bit more sort of counter-attack and passing, so a bit more direct. Do you feel that happened a little bit? I felt that in the second half because in the second half of that season, like the last 10 games and the running in the playoffs, we were just like putting crosses in and just playing that sort of football. Do you feel that might happen a little bit? I hope it does in a way. Chris, I'll go see you on that one.
Yeah, I think what's been criticised at times for not having a plan B, hasn't he? And I think again it showed at the weekend that he absolutely did have, and changing the shape. I think the other thing as well is we've not had the option to do that
No.
because as Paul said in recent weeks, we signed Danzala and Cody picked up an injury which kind of set him back for kind of 2 or 3 weeks, didn't he? So I think that'll be in the theory thought process of Inasami coming back in as well. In that if you have an injury, if one of those picks up a knock at a crucial time, then you've got an option. So yeah, I think I guess it's all about the players, isn't it? Again, that what killed us that season with Danny Wright getting injured, wasn't it? And it wasn't towards the end till the end of the season in the playoffs, as we remember, that he then came back and was playing to the same level again. So it can change in a heartbeat. The squad looks healthy now. We're only missing Dylan now, aren't we? But all it takes is Young gets injured or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, isn't it? But we've got players to cover most eventualities, haven't we now? Which I think is a good thing. Apart from something I was going to mention is about the goalkeeper situation.
Yeah.
I think we're going, whether we're looking to get another keeper in before Thursday, when the deadline is A, because you're going to want them as part of the squad if you need them, and B, as somebody commented earlier on, if your keeper breaks his hand in the warm up and you haven't got one signed on, you've had it. So I would have one, and I'd have him on the bench in a playoff game if we get to that, because the consequence is too big.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm sure there'll be a plan in place for that. Tom, you want to talk about Matt Carson?
Yeah. Top player, Matty Carson. Congratulations on your Northern Ireland call up for the under-21s. It's always good to see young players progress to international level. And I don't know. Did he play? I can't remember. I can't remember.
He played the first game. He
played the first game,
which
so
was
it's all experience for him, isn't it? And
all the games have been played in Turkey. They've got. I think he played against Kazakhstan in a 1-1 draw. Then he didn't play the second game. They made 8 changes and they lost 1-0 to Ukraine under-20s. And they've got one more game still to play out there. So it's a nice little holiday for him, if nothing else, isn't it?
Nice and warm this time. Lovely.
Yeah, no, well, that's for sure. It shows, the power of having sort of young, good assets in our squad, in our club, which is brilliant.
And shows that I know naff all about football.
Yeah, well done, Tom. That's why we do a podcast. Taking Flight premiere tonight as well as we record this. I was going to go along, but obviously I don't want to give everyone my flu. It's not a very nice thing to do that way, not very responsible. So I'm missing out on that, but I can't wait to see that when that's out. So yeah, that's another good thing for the club. Always going well. Either way, did I read that they could get relegated on Saturday?
Believe so.
What a demise it's been. It's been seen a lot though, this division, when you lose a lot of players after a season they had last year, of course. It's a shame.
The manager's on his bike as well, isn't he? He's been well front for 3 or 4 years, but he's off to pastures new. No doubt some other Essex or Kent club has taken a shine to him.
Yeah.
So, maybe for what it's worth, maybe the players will down tools a little bit now they know that he's not going to be around anymore. It shouldn't matter, should it, really? I know we'll do the Averley preview in a minute, but honestly, we've got to go there and win, and that's the bottom line.
I agree. I hope for their sake that we've seen a lot of these clubs at this sort of non-league level where they've had a good few years, and then they've all suddenly disappeared. I really hope that because they've been absolutely brilliantly managed from what I've seen for years, on and off the pitch. I hope they don't have like a Northwich Victoria sort of way and let's go down. I hope they sort of solidify in the division below and keep going. Just a new chapter for them. But yes, I also hope we batter it. We'll just win 1-0 on Saturday. So yeah, Kelly, you want to go to your corner?
Let's go into the corner. So this week, again, as we mentioned earlier, bumper crowd at Playmore on Saturday, over 5,000. So for Kelly's corner tonight, we asked you the best Playmore atmosphere you've experienced as a Torquay United fan. And once again, thank you to everyone who wrote in this week. So we start with David McLaughlin, who says it was Torquay 2, Chesterfield 0. think that was the game that was on BT Sports a couple of years ago. It was a cracking game, and he wore his pink shorts that day.
Mm.
I wonder if that was the first game back in the Football League.
I think it is when Scott Rendell scored.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So the ones on Twitter, so we start with Paul Mahern. Good evening, Paul. He says, Bournemouth away this season, the home fan never stopped. Seriously, though, he'll throw a recent one in. It was Yeovil at home, 3-0. Boxing Day, 2021. The pop side were brilliant and drove the team onto a brilliant second half. Laps got one of them, sent one off, and then we destroyed them.
Sonny Low Everton.
That's
Sonny
it.
Blue Low Everton. Yeah.
Sonny
Get his
Blue
name
Low
right, guys.
Everton. Absolute
What a name.
rosary from Laps there. We'd
Oh,
like to
massive.
see that again one day, wouldn't we?
I thought he was never going to walk again after that incident.
We've got Alan Wills, who says, I think it's got to be the 1-0 League Cup victory over Spurs in 1987. I recall John Bartlett ringing his bell and exclaiming in his broad Devon accent, never known a night like it on the old pop side. Attendance was the capacity at the ground at the time, 4,999, Alan thinks. Clive, do you want to take us through your favourite moment?
Yeah, just for atmosphere, really. The night, I mean, I know Chris has mentioned this as well. The night that we played Scarborough at home in the playoffs, we'd already destroyed them once. We won 3-1 up there. So it had the hallmarks of a celebration. The ground was full, sunny evening, and my goodness me, Rodney Jack, you've never seen pace or finishing like it. Unbelievable. The uncouth phrase is he ripped him a new one. He ripped him 3 or 4 new ones that night. I think we won it 5-1, did we? It was absolutely
4, I think.
Awesome.
Ronnie Jack scored 2. Steve McCall scored, didn't he? He scored the 4th goal. I'll have to think on that one. But yeah, it's just the atmosphere is amazing on it. I think as well, at 3-1, the next goal's key, isn't it? And we scored, was it twice in the first 5 minutes? And then after that, it was just a party the rest of the game, wasn't it? But yeah, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant night. Yeah, the atmosphere was just, that's one I remembered. So it's the first one that sprung to mind for me as well, Clive. Brilliant.
So there's a few more on Twitter to go through. So Mark Hurst says, again, the Scarborough playoff final in 98. The team fed off the atmosphere and were 2 up early on. That made the crowd even noisier. Shame about the final, though. Ian Hayward says, I remember beating Oxford in an FA Cup replay. My mate's photo was printed in the Herald Express the next morning. He was halfway over the advertising hoardings in the old enclosure when his image was captured for posterity. Probably sticks in my mind as I was still a child. Rachel Malik says, what a corner. Bots County playoffs. Cracking atmosphere and a superb performance. Christopher Height says, Scarborough in the playoff semi-final 98 was pretty special. Being 2-0 up with 10 minutes and knowing you're basically in the final made it an 80-minute long celebration. Won't mention the final, though. James says another vote for Scarborough at home in the playoffs. The pop side was packed and really loud. I remember when we scored, my feet didn't touch the floor. There were so many in the singing section. Definitely in my top 5 Torquay United matches. Even got a Mexican wave going around the ground. TDID says Notts County playoffs 2021 for me. Even with a reduced crowd, the atmosphere during and after the game was immense. Ollie says Derby at home. Truro was brilliant as I was in the box. Or Weston on a cold Tuesday night. And Paul Dennis, finishing the corner, says has to be the night we beat Scarborough with Rodney Jack running riot. Not to be forgotten was the exquisite goal by Steve McCall. Just such a shame that the great season was ruined by the Wembley ref against Colchester. Never a handball by Big John Gittins. And that is all of the Kelly's Corner this week. Thank you, everyone. My atmosphere, best at Plymouth that I can recall, is the Derby County one in the FA Cup. Just as soon as we got that goal, it was just constant and got a very good result and a good replay out of it. So a very one of the very few highs from that season, I'd say, that Derby County result. But I'm trying to find some more that I can't remember. But thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for writing in this week. Oh, we've got one more vote for Scarborough, by the way. Sorry, I've just missed that out from Simon Atkinson. So he says Scarborough for me, Rodney's 2 goals, and McCall's worldie, brilliant stuff.
Predictions for Aveley away, and then I'm going back well after I've edited it, actually. Which no idea how this is going to look with me edited today. Christ, I'm just going to hit loads of buttons, hope for the best. Right,
I'll go first. I'm feeling bold. I think it's a game we've got to go there and win. It's a game we should go there and win. Have they lost 29 out of 39 or something? 30 out of 4 is something pretty bad. So I think we're going to go there. We're playing with positivity. We're playing with courage. We're playing with belief at the moment. And I think we'll go there and we will win 3-0.
I'm going for 3-1, Torquay. We'll control the game, either get a goal out of nowhere, either 1-0 or 2-0, and then we just sit out nicely. Clive.
Yeah, I can't see past 3-1, Swanee. I agree.
Good. So,
We've never beaten them, and this has got all the hallmarks of
Oh, goodness
peril.
sake.
because of
Come
there
on,
to
look
be
at
broken.
our history, Chris. Just look at our history.
I know.
If we are serious about promotion, then it's got to be 3-1, I think. But great club, Averley. Great set of fans, small in number, but were really good to us last year, and hopefully they'll bounce back. But sorry, 3-1 to the Goals.
I reckon we owe Avon as well. If you think about it, we lost there last season. They knackered Devon Day when we were 2-0 up. We should have beaten them at home earlier this season. So I think it's time we went there and won, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Swanee, what are you doing on Sunday?
Oh, I am going to Torquay United's Mother's Day thing. Oh, Swanee Senior booked it. I didn't actually. That's what I say. I was like, that's a great idea. Recommended
what a
the
man.
food.
What a man.
And then I was just like, yeah. Me and Mum doesn't like football, but never mind. She likes good quality food and hospitality. So we'll be going anyway, and then me and Swansea will be watching the football afterwards, which we'll pay separately for, of course. Nan's going as well. She absolutely loves the club, so she can't wait. 92,
Lovely.
almost 93. So a nice family day out to play more. Oh, you just can't get a break from the wonderful place, can you? Well done, everyone, for putting that on. It's going to be a great Mother's Day. Up the
Get your
Yellows.
tickets now. Get your
Get your
tickets
tickets
now. On
now.
sale.
Season
tickets
ticket
now.
holders get in for nout. If you have to pay, it's only £6 for adults, £3 for under 18s. I am going to go on my own. In fact, after going to see my 90-year-old mother in the morning and making
Lovely.
sure she's all right. Yep. Looking forward.
Get her a KFC, Clive.
Might take her a curry.
Oh, yeah, true. I can't go because I'm working this weekend, but I shall be following the match and hoping that we get a good result. Yes, they're in good form, aren't they?
Hopefully there'll be some talky. Hopefully there'll be some talky talk updates because I'll be by the Sunlander in Gran Canaria. So come on the Goals.
Oh, he had to get that in, didn't he?
I'll get my nan to do it.
Get Clive Mo on there. Get her on Talky Talk Twitter. Lovely. So love a bit of that, Clive.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I'll be hopefully fighting fit by next week.
Yes.
Yes. And have a good week, Yellow Army. Enjoy taking flight, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Bye.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.